What's going on, guys? Here we go. Last day. Brent Edmonds is back here with you. Today's the last day that we're venturing through this course, but you got enough tools, and hopefully you're taking those 5 days right in between, and all these concepts are pretty much routine by now. If not, you're still working to adjust to the routine that you created. But these are some great necessary tools to be life-changing, not even just in the sport of baseball, but in your own daily lives in general. Okay, creating more energy, creating more focus in areas that need to have that focus. You know, the stuff that is most important to you. Okay. So today is all about building the right culture. Like I mentioned in the last lesson 5 days ago about leadership, these two go hand in hand. Culture is a set of beliefs that drive the behaviors to be able to get an outcome. Okay? And a great example is, I've been a part of teams that, they got the posters up, it all looks cool and whatnot, but, a lot of it's just for show, right? And let's go based off my teaching experience. One of the teachers was all for show. Her room all decked out and doing like all these cool arts and crafts, but it was just nothing but a disguise to show she's got good culture within her room, for her kids, that they're learning at a very good rate, they're doing stuff relevant. But a lot of it was just arts and crafts. Sometimes when I walk by that room, just blaring music, music that shouldn't have been blaring. And what's crazy is, her room was right in front of the principal's office, but we were so short-staffed that the principal had to be in a room up in the middle school. Okay, so she kind of lucked out from that aspect. But anyway, why is culture important? Because without it, you're not going to get anybody to follow you. It's just going to create dysfunction. We talked about clarity. If you don't know exactly why something is being said to, okay, back to my teaching job. The upper administration over the top of our administration would always just say no to any kind of suggestion we threw at them. And it was always suggestions to be able to improve the learning environment. And they'd always just say no. That was it. No clarity to it, no reasoning behind it. Just said no. Okay, and, we saw it as, we had no idea the reasoning behind it, and we saw it as they don't want to do anything to help these kids be able to learn. And we can't do our jobs without this stuff. So, what is the point in working super hard? We'll still give our best to the kids because it's not fair to take it out on the kids. But when it comes to some extra stuff and they want us to do this extra stuff, you're going to get what you're going to get. Right? So, there is an assessment that you got to go through. I'm not going to go through the myths and mistakes of it, like leadership, but let me just read a couple. So let's go to 193. 193. There is a top-down effect versus collaboration of all parties or people who are involved. A mission statement hung on a wall is enough to say you have a culture. We just talked about that. A lot of times it's just a mask. Sometimes, you hang it up there and you don't even know what it is. You can't repeat it. Okay, once we establish the mission, vision, and core principles, the hard part is over. Absolutely false, because you gotta be doing it. You gotta be doing it, okay? If you're going to state it, you yourself need to be doing it, okay? Especially if you're in the top spot. Because if you want the others to follow and fall in place and do their job very well, okay, you gotta make sure that you're doing it too, okay? That was it. Excuse me. So, So, like, the posters are great. You know, you could have your mission statement posted on the wall, but you got to be able to repeat it on a daily. You got to be able to define it. You got to be able to know it, and you got to be doing it. Okay. So make sure you go through and do the assessment. Let me just show you the assessment. Oh, there is no assessment here. So your assessment is, so it's right here. The 2 questions right here on how to apply, the application. So they're all written right here for you. So if you're struggling with it, come back to the members area. It's right here. Okay. You ask the people involved in the team and organization what the mission, vision, and core principles are. Or you can ask them to explain their culture, and then you compare and contrast with your experience. Okay? I could be an outsider and come in and go around asking these questions, or you as the leader can go around and ask your team these questions. And you need to make sure that they're 100% honest. It'd probably be better if I were to come in, ask them these questions, because they're most likely going to give me an honest response. If they're intimidated by you in any kind of way and they just want to say the right things to be able to stay on your good side, I mean, first of all, that tells you enough, right? That they don't feel like they can be totally 100% honest and transparent because they feel like they're going to be judged and maybe be in the doghouse, whatever it may be. Doing whatever they need to do to stay in good graces, and that's not the kind of culture that you need. Okay? You need a kind of culture where everyone feels comfortable to be honest and speak what's on their mind. Okay? Without any kind of consequence. Okay? Without fear that they're going to lose their job. Without fear that they're going to lose playing time. Okay? If they're coming up to you as a coach and they're asking you, what can I do to get on the field? What do I need to do? Answer it honestly and transparently. It probably took enough guts for them to come up and ask you that anyway. Right? So as a coach, you can offer your 100% transparency on it. And I mean, I know as coaches we don't stray away from the truth. I mean, nobody's going to get better if you stray away from the truth. Okay, so in a work atmosphere, I mean, they got to know that, like, hey, if I'm 100% honest, it's not going to be held against me. And be comfortable enough to be able to come out and talk to you honestly, about the situation, how they feel. Okay? And if you're not getting the answers that you want, then something needs to change. Okay? If their experience is totally different than what you envisioned, then somewhere down the line, you need to change. And the strategies are all right here. You also get the documents. So they are both right here for you. Okay? I mean, posters are cool, but you need to be following the words that are on those posters. Just don't hang something up if it has no meaning. If it's just to look cool and be about an image. No, I mean, that's what too many people are doing on Facebook, thinking they're gonna feel better and whatnot, when truly it doesn't speak the true picture. Okay, so if you're not getting the answers that match up to your vision and what you want out of the company, then you either gotta change the vision. Virtually you got to go through. Okay, so let's go into the strategies. Okay, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So your strategies. Okay, so let me open up the doc because it should be the entire strategy behind it, just like I pretty much wrote down in the members area for you. So it's an entire document for you all about culture. Yep, it's entirely lining up, explaining it all. Okay, so let's just go through each step outside of this, because I do have it right here in the members area for you, right here. Okay, so number one, you got to be able to identify the mission, the vision, and the core principles of your team and business. Okay, like I said, everything's got to be crystal clear. Okay, you got to build a connection. If people don't feel appreciated, that's the kind of work you're gonna get. Okay, just like in my girlfriend's work, not that long ago, somebody was probably on their way out. I mean, I guess there was a little bit of drama and whatnot, and her work declined, got themselves in a situation when it could have been nipped in the bud not that long ago. And, it took about a month or two to be able to fix it. I mean, she did not feel appreciated and taken care of in that work atmosphere, and it came back and bit them. Okay, and you want to avoid that at all costs, right? Especially as a company, so you got to be able to relate and appreciate, okay, each and every individual on that team. So yes, you got to be able to identify the mission. Okay, what is your mission? So if you're a coach, and a lot of people's, okay, win the Super Bowl, or I'm going to win the championship, I'm going to win tournaments. I mean, that's really not your mission. I mean, if you're a coach, that should never be your mission. Okay? You should not be coaching if that is your number one mission. Right? Your mission is to be able to make an impact and be a role model for the kids that come in contact in your life. Okay? The wins can fall in place, but you got to build that connection with those individual kids coming in contact with you. Your vision, okay, that can be, your vision of your mission is to give them those core principles, those core values to be able to run with and become men. Okay, to become, good young women. Okay. You want to give them that foundation, the stuff that they're going to live and be able to take with them later on in life, outside of just sport. Okay, and then your core principles. You go through and you write down your core principles. I mean, you should have that done in your MVP process. Truth, love, communication, and then the thing is, you gotta live that. Okay, you gotta uphold those values. Okay, and if anybody's not upholding those values, display some of those consequences. But that should not always be your number one go-to. Okay, so number two, you focus on the behaviors and what it looks like to live in alignment with your organizational mission, vision, and core principles. So this is all about your behaviors, okay, and what it looks like to be able to live in alignment with them, with those three values in the MVP process. Okay. I can't say it enough. Talk the talk and walk the walk. Okay. Number 3, assess how you are living in alignment with what you created. So this is really focused on you now. 100% focused. Okay. Scale of 1 to 3. Okay. 1 being never. 2, sometimes. 3 is always. Okay. And be honest. Be honest. Okay. And if it's, excuse me, if it's not a 3, something needs to change, with you to get yourself back into alignment with your mission, vision, and core principles. Okay, and number 4, create an intentional growth plan based on what you learned from doing the assessment. Okay, so if you didn't like the result of your honesty, you need to create a whole new intention. I can't even speak right now. You need to create an entire brand new growth plan. Okay? I mean, if you keep it the same, But what are you going to do now within your actions to be able to fall within the MVP process? Okay. So I gave you 2 examples of what the MVP process for culture looks like. Okay. And teams hang this up. Okay, I believe this was LSU, maybe. But this is a softball MVP process and culture. Okay. Win the moment. Win the series. So remember, win is what's important now. Okay. So this is all the vision. They go all the way up. Okay. Core principles: trust, integrity, grit, energy, relentless, selfless. I'm sorry. It's just small on my screen. I said selfies. Okay. And the thing is, they defined it. Okay. So next to that word, and of course that is Tigers. You know what they did. That's their team name, is the Tigers. Okay, so trust is believe in our process. Integrity, do what's right. Grit, long-term perseverance. Energy, bring the juice. Okay, so juice is bringing the energy. Okay. Oh, exactly. Relentless, always the attacker. And selfless, LS over you. Okay, I'm not really sure what that stands for, but they know exactly what it means, and that's all that needs to be done. Okay, and then you break it down. Okay, so this is above the line. You want to be above the line, right? But even on the below the line, so what it looks like to be above the line is on the left-hand column right here. Okay, and they define it, as a person. The E plus R equals O, okay, as a person, as a student, and as a player. Okay, you break down all those areas of their life, okay, and you define them. And if you're below the line, what does it look like, as a person, student, and a player? Okay, so you got that one, and then this one is another good example, football championship culture. They virtually did it the same way. Theirs looks a little bit different, but I mean, you got to do what's best for you. You can make it look, you can deck it all out, or you can make it look like this, simple. But anything that's going to be able to get them down, I mean, the terminology you use, break it down, like this. They use the word hammer down. Okay, what does it mean? Hogs first, hogs last. Okay, so my guess is their team name is Hogs, right? A, accountability. M, mental and physical toughness. The second M, moral compass. E, elite responsibility. Razor fast is R. D, discipline over default. O, one play at a time. W, where your feet are. And N, next play mentality. Hammer down. You can break it down, by the terminology that you want to use. Do what works best for your situation. Okay? So let's just wrap up. So now that we got all the tools, what's next? Okay? At this point, if you did this the way the program is intended, you got to be doing it every 5 days between. Okay, that is going to be the most effective way. You're going to be less overwhelmed doing all this stuff. So if you do it as you go. Okay, if you didn't, okay, you can either restart the entire program from step 1. Take 5 days off till you watch the next one, but make sure you're doing the assignments in between, okay? And then, or you can contact me if you need any kind of clarity. Contact me any kind of questions. You should be a part of the Facebook group. If not, it's right on the members area. Click the baseball students. Okay, it's all linked up to be able to get to baseball area. You can go to my website, contact me through Messenger. You can go straight to my page, contact me through Messenger. My email's virtually posted up everywhere. Okay. Click the support. It'll take you right there, show you my email. Alright. And go through all this stuff. If you need some review and clarity, please reach out. Okay? Please reach out. I will get back to you, even if it takes me a little bit of time. I will eventually get back to you. Okay? Yeah, go through all this stuff. This is great stuff, stuff that I use, stuff that truly works for, the people that buy into it. So buy into this process, okay? My other programs really show you how you can implement it into your own game through the videos. That's pretty big. Not really a starter pack, but more so in the Prime Pack. So if you're not a Prime Pack member, go ahead, do so. The starter pack is your fundamentals. Okay, really breaking down the basics. So it doesn't really matter where you're at in this game. I would definitely suggest you go ahead and buy that one, because you ever find yourself in a slump? A lot of times, me to be able to get out of my slump, I would just go back to the basics. Go back to the basics. Simplify it. Alright? So, it's a good starter point for a lot of people, and for others, it could be just going back to the basics because you're struggling. It's up to you, though. Definitely remain doing everything that you're doing, but this is the super important program, and make sure that you keep it going. Make sure you refer any of your friends over to this program, because this one's 100% life changing, even outside of sport. Okay, even if they're football players or basketball players. Okay, refer them over to this program. These concepts are not just for baseball. Okay, but it's being provided to baseball. Okay, so stay tuned. The bonus videos are going to be coming up here shortly. All about different mentalities, things that I had, and things that I didn't have, my routine that got me there, without actually knowing any of this stuff, okay? So this is before I learned all this stuff, how you can do it, outside of not having this stuff, but how this stuff can actually take you that one step further that you want and that you strive to get to. Okay, so stay tuned for all that. Stay tuned for everything that I may post stuff everywhere. I always got ideas brewing up in my head, so stay tuned for everything. If you like everything, stay tuned, and I will promise to get it to you. If you guys got any kind of suggestions, anything that you want, I'll work to try to make that happen. Okay. Thanks for buying. Thanks for going through the course. Absolutely going to be life changing for you. Just you watch. 100%.